It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports, where division rivals will clash in the NFC East. It's the Giants and the reigning Super Bowl champs, and it's coming up next on EA Sports.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The enthusiasm for football here on the East Coast always in the air. These folks are ready as their guys get set to match up with the New York Giants. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Washington team as they interplay here. They're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And a short kick taken at about the 16. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. First go on offense for the Giants under the guidance of Daniel Jones, the former Duke Blue Devil.
Now, the meeting we had with him this week, that's one of the briefer ones we've ever had, isn't it?
He wasn't too happy after last week.
Not happy. Really determined to play a whole lot better, and he really can't play a whole lot worse. He's got to go out and show the team that the goods that he exhibited early are still there. Otherwise, he could lose the confidence that they have in him.
They're hoping to get rid of that interception bug. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 17 carries, 54 yards. From the 31. Jones.
And when I watch them operate, I see a unit that's playing with extreme confidence. Offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers. You see a group that wants their number 8 rusher in the league end up being in the top 5 before it's over.
A first down carry for Barkley. Jamin Davis there to bring him down. This Washington defense, Charles, terrific in the victory a week ago.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team forced. 5, 6, 7, 8. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope he'll recover.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. They'll run on first down. Barkley, and he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11. Jones with a handoff to Barkley. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. Throwing Jones. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Chase Young, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And he's going to miss this one. That is no good. Well outside the left upright, and this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate. Two sides to every coin. This is the bad side of missing the 58-yarder. Now they start at the 48. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down.
The numbers on the ground for Gibson a week ago, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total scary. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up fourth down. So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. This will be caught at Samuel. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football as they go to work on a 1st and goal. Gibson fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. Gibson again. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. So they opted to pass for it on 3rd and goal. Let's see what they do on 4th and goal.
Well, I think they threw it with the idea that if they didn't get it, they would go for it on 4th and goal. So they've got another play in their pocket. They're going to have to call it right now. No field goal here.
The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1. On play action, they'll throw. And looking for McLaurin, but this is intercepted. Picked off by Logan Lyon. And the Giants are going to have it here at their own 15. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Here's a give to Barkley. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
An extra man in the secondary for Washington on third down. Now Jones. A throw for Galladay is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 20, and he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, right? Because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Time again to see Terry McLaurin in the Washington offense. He's well on his way to a 1,000-yard season, maybe on pace to just tear past that, Charles. Defensively, they need to pay a little bit more attention to him.
Yeah,
and this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And the Giants are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on it. His teammates are going to check on it because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. But let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains, that means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense. They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
Here's Jones on 3rd down. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down. Returnable here. Now a hit and a loose football. And who's got it? The Giants. And maybe getting a little too cute there on the punt return. Sometimes they forget paramount holding on to that football. I really do believe most of the return guys think to themselves, when I get the ball, I'm going to make the play that's going to change the game. I'm going to break it. I'm going to break it. And you love that they have that attitude, but your point is so well taken. What do you have to do? First and foremost, hold on to it. Take care of the football. That's all he needed to do. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Montez Sweat in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. 2nd and 21. A lot of ground to cover. A handoff to Barkley. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long. Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him. Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. That's Deron Payne with a sack that time. That's 3 sacks now. That's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks. Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Here's Michael Palardy now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at about the 14. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. Interesting stat line right now. Technically, he's completed 4 passes, 2 to his team and then 2 to the wrong team.
It makes you wonder what he's seeing downfield because he has completed 2 passes to his own team, but...
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Washington. Curtis Samuel, 76 yards. And Washington able to come up with a quick strike touchdown. Quite a show of arm strength right there. That was in the air for a long time, and it was on target, too.
I'm really not sure what was more impressive about that throw. Was it the distance travel or the accuracy involved? Because I'm going to tell you straight up, when you're trying to hit a guy in stride that far downfield, there's nothing easy about it, but he sure made it look easy there.
Yeah, that throw traveling an even 64 yards in the air. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. It's good, and Washington will take a 7-0 lead. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. 1-play drive and into the end zone for 6. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. A fairly short kick from the 14. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
Let's go.
Now here comes Daniel Jones and the Giants again. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. Now a pass dumped off to his running back. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Well, I like the play design there. They occupied the defense downfield, everyone trying to account for someone. But unfortunately, they didn't account for the running back slipping out of the backfield. And he was absolutely unnoticed and wound up getting big yards on that play.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jones throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that is incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
So possession goes over here on the punt. Time again to see Terry McLaurin in the Washington offense. 2nd quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think there's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, so far, just the single catch. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that's complete. It sends. And some room to maneuver. Touchdown, Washington. Cam Sims, his 4th touchdown on the year. And Washington able to come up with a quick strike touchdown. Well, like so many wide receivers, he is a threat with the ball in his hands, and he's able to do his damage here after the catch.
Yeah, and this just looked like a simple, ordinary play to start, but boy, did things change. Once he got free, it was off to the races, and once he hit high gear, there's absolutely no one who was going to stop him.
And the next-gen stats show us the tale of how much yardage he was able to tack on after the catch. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra-quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see. Just one play resulting in the touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. A fairly short kick from the 14. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Throwing on second and long. Jones. Jamin Davis in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs. Now leads to a third and long. After the sack, they'll come up now third and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And they'll indeed stop him on third down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on fourth down. So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0 as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll begin up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, and it's the Cowboys who are out in front. 2 touchdown passes there for Dak Prescott. From there, we head up to MetLife Stadium to check on the Jets. And right now, they have the lead over the visiting Dolphins. Former number 2 pick Zach Wilson with a couple of touchdown passes. Finally, let's get to Philadelphia. Check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting Jags who are out in front. Marvin Jones, a touchdown reception. With that, let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Giants. And not much went right in those first 2 quarters. You can see the numbers on the ground there. Not a whole lot to write home about so far. Meanwhile, for Washington, they too didn't do a whole lot in terms of rushing efficiency in that first half, as you can tell by the numbers there. Both teams currently making their final adjustments. We're getting ready for the second half. So we'll send it back up to FedEx Field and hand things back over to Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. So Washington in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football as the second half gets underway. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. So here is Washington now to take over. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat in this ball game as well. Second half starts with a run by Gibson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. So, Charles, you look at this offense. So what a start to the season. 5 wins without a loss. When do you think that you start believing that maybe you're in the midst of something special?
Well, you and I both know every head coach never wants that thought to creep into a locker room. But the truth of the matter is, not quite at this time, because if we look at the Steelers in 2020, they're a great example. Remember, they started 11-0, then lost 5 of 6 and went out in the first round. But I think if you get toward mid-November, the Thanksgiving time frame, and you're still doing this, that's when things start to get real for a ball club.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now fourth down. And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. And this will be down just on the other side of midfield.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the third quarter.
And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for the second half. I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Now Saquon Barkley. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Running left, it's Barkley. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Here's Gibson to start the drive.
And he's got room. Still staying on his feet. Are you serious? And they're able to get this one across the 35. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive.
On first down, right back to Gibson.
Oh, what a move. Still going. Touchdown, Washington.
Antonio Gibson
with another touchdown, number 24 on the year.
And Washington going to add on to their lead. Well, that is a running back who is not about to go down easily. He fought his way through the contact until the seas opened up for him.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 21-0. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Possession switching back to the New York Giants.
And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion. And when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points. And the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD. Because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
He dumps it off to Barkley. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, his completion percentage continues to rise with that one, but sometimes you want your completion percentage to go down. Maybe you should have thought about throwing that one away.
I was just say, it is easier said than done, but that's where you maybe bury it at his feet, make sure he doesn't catch it.
Great call right there. Put it near the receiver, no grounding, nothing like that, but no one gets a chance to pick it off either.
A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more.
He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the 3rd quarter.
And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field.
While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Now Gibson.
Room here to run. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington.
Antonio Gibson.
His 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season.
And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further. Well, he was already over 100 yards running the football prior to this play, but this run may be his best yet.
I've got to agree with you on that one. We're looking at a guy running with extreme confidence, running in harmony and sync with his blockers. All them kind of moving as one, and look at the end result. Big plays.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 28-0. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over.
They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who could make a play against all.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Daron Payne able to record his 5th sack of the season. But collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And he goes across the 20 to the 22.
41 yards on the ground for him so far.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing on 3rd and long. Jones. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A big play that time on the catch and run.
Well, that's something you haven't had to talk about much this game. A nice big play right there. But this team, overall, they haven't done a whole lot offensively.
Well, they're still sitting on the goose egg. We talk about defenses having pride in a shutout. This offense wants to get rid of that 0. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Jones. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jones. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jonathan Allen in there with pressure yet again. That is the 7th time that they have dropped him here this afternoon. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
After that sack, 3rd and long. Tough spot for Jones and the Giants. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Throwing deep for Galladay. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throwing deep for Galladay. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. The Giants go on 4th, but come up empty.
And Washington will take control of the football in great field position.
Charles, you said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on.
And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown.
Antonio Gibson,
his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season.
And this Washington offense continuing to add to their lead. So that run there, yeah, I don't know if it's overstating things to call it a thing of beauty, but in terms of football plays, that's as good as you're going to see.
And they've had little to no success stopping him on the ground all game long, because that's his 3rd touchdown of the game, and by far the best touchdown of the bunch. They came into this game knowing that they needed to rely on him, and the defense knew they needed to slow him down. Yet he's delivered in a big way, and he's been sensational.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard. On 2nd and 10, Jones. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Montez Sweat racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
After that sack, 3rd and long, tough spot for Jones and the Giants.
Jones now throwing on 3rd and long.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And Washington going to come back out here to take over offensively.
And this crowd has certainly liked what they've seen. Their guys fully expected to win this one coming in, and they have not disappointed as they've got the big lead here in the 4th. Now a play fake here on 1st down.
Got a man open. It's Ricky Seals-Jones. Touchdown, Washington. Ricky Seals-Jones. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Washington offense just continuing to pour it on. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Point after, right down the middle, and it is 42-0. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
A fairly short kick from the 14. Now, they nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. New York ready to go again offensively.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Jones on 1st and 10. And his throw is incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety.
And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Open man is Galladay, complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop it well short.
Here's Michael Palardy now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today.
A nice run back there off the good punt. It's a 16-yard return. Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more.
He has a chance to hit that often elusive 200-yard mark on this drive.
And most of the time during a game, people aren't keeping track of individual statistics.
Are you sure?
Well, a lot of the runners kind of know. But I'll guarantee you someone has sent word into the offensive line that he's got a chance to get over 200 on this drive. That should give them a little extra motivation because they love it when backs break that barrier.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can do it.
On 2nd down, here's Gibson again.
Gets past one man and taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Boy, 196 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ballgame.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
A carry for Gibson.
And yet again. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Fighting through the tackle at the 30. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped.
An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs even though they're playing out on the perimeter.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Gibson again.
And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Point after try forthcoming. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So this drive spans 7 plays. And the result, a touchdown for Washington. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Kicks it on the ground with now a hit and a loose football.
And does Washington have it? They do. So it's Washington getting the victory here.
And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory.
So for Washington,
they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Giants,